What is quacking, everybody? So it's been 7 years since Mario Odyssey came out, and I've never beaten the game. But for 7 years, though, I have been watching other people play the game and beat it multiple times. I've been watching speed runs, hide and seeks, mods, challenge runs, all the big YouTubers play it. I've been watching Mario Odyssey for the past 7 years, and I've never beaten the game. Until recently, I finally sat down and beat the game. But because I've been consuming so much Mario Odyssey content, I challenged myself to play the game and try to do some speedrun tricks. Like if there was an area where I could do some tricks that weren't too hard, the easier tricks, not the hard ones, I would attempt them. I got Dino Skip and Moon Cave Skip, and that is all I got. Moon Cave Skip found Small Ant Mom's video, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this, and I watched it, and she helped me do Moon Cave Skip. So that was pretty fun. Very informative too. Like that video was very informative. It was a very well done video on how to do Moon Cave Skip and broken down really well. And it helped me do Moon Cave Skip. And I felt so good after doing Moon Cave Skip. It was very fun. However, I didn't get Klepto Skip or Snowdram. I was close with Snowdram. I bonked, and Klepto Skip, I was also close as well with that. And those were kind of the extent. I did skip some other tricks as well. There was just some tricks I looked at and I was like, there's no way in hell that I'm doing this. So besides that little challenge for myself, I finally went through and beat the game. And with all Mario games, the movement was absolutely crispy. Like, it was so good. It felt good moving around. However, one of the things that I did feel like was, the movement is good, but I feel like with someone who is a tiny child or who's never played games like that before or just doesn't game in general, I feel like they would still struggle with the game in certain aspects. For me, I definitely, sat in a corner, was practicing cat bounces, long jumps, all that stuff, getting my movement down and stuff like that for, a couple minutes, kind of like warming up. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready to play this game, and just kind of went through the game. Other people, it definitely can be harder for them to perform. There's a lot more button presses for movements as well. I struggle with the cat bounces, so that was kind of like one of the biggest things. But that's more of like an advanced movement. But just in general, I feel like the controls were good and they're solid. But someone who doesn't know how to control Mario like that, or who isn't very in tune with something like that, I can see where they would struggle with that type of issues. But overall, the movement was crispy. You feel very rewarded for doing all these different tricks with Mario, nailing all these different jumps, wall jumping, just anything to, get a moon, beat a boss, move around the levels. Just felt so crispy and rewarding. And then on top of that, you have the main gimmick of the game, the captures. The captures are so fun to use, they're unique to use, and they just add an extra layer of different things you can do in the game. It's so fun, like using a gushin to swim around seaside, or use the gushin to like float around seaside, I guess, spit my water everywhere, or using a regular cheap to just swim around as well, using the plant things in Wooded Kingdom to go up and down, all the different things, using the tank to shoot things as well. Just all of the captures felt so fun to use, using the Pokios at the end, flipping the bombs to certain areas to blow things up, using the Moai to solve the invisible puzzle in sand. Like, all these different things just feel so good. The movement on top of the captures just really solidify how good this game is and how good it feels. And it is just an absolutely smooth experience front to back when you get the hang of everything and moving around with Mario. On top of that, the kingdoms are very unique, very beautiful looking. I enjoyed how unique the kingdoms felt. Sand Kingdom, Second World, obviously inspiration from, the stereotypical every 2D Mario has World 2 Sand World. So we had that here, but the Sand Kingdom felt more alive. There was like more depth to it with the oasis and the town and the pyramid and just moving around the different things. It felt so nice just going through Mario Odyssey and through the different kingdoms. One of my biggest concerns was having Lake Kingdom feeling similar to Seaside, and that was not the case at all. Lake Kingdom felt very linear in certain aspects and had different ways to explore it. And same thing with Seaside. Seaside was just this open beachfront. It's all you. Go lounge around, go do whatever. And I like that the water levels were very different from each other, where in the past, I kind of feel like some of the water levels in Mario games very similar to a degree, kind of the same, but this game completely different. They felt so unique, and that was very nice to have that. And then on top of that, Wooded Kingdom just felt very lush and lifelike. You had Luncheon Kingdom, very unique. Luncheon felt so unique, was so fun to just have like this very rich new type of world in a Mario game. So fun. Moving around on the forks, the different ways you can move around with the fireballs and stuff like that. Oh my god, like Luncheon, definitely probably like my favorite kingdom. Playing through it, it was very fun to move around in. Also the boss fights were very unique. All of them just very good. Fighting the different bunnies, especially Harriet, fighting her, very fun. Trying to get your cap to blow her up, that was fun. The mech fight was very fun. But I will have to say my favorite boss fight out of all of them was Ruin Kingdom's boss fight. Fighting the dragon, jumping around on the electricity, trying to make sure you get to his face in a timely manner to break all the chains and stomp on his head. That was fun. Fighting Bowser, having an outright boxing match, throwing hands with King Koopa himself and just punching him. That was fun. And I like the difficulty jump from Cloud Kingdom to Bowser's Kingdom's boss fight. It was very fun and, very, interesting. Or not Bowser Kingdom, but the Moon Kingdom fight. But yeah, all the bunnies, their fights were fun. Just every single fight was fun. They were challenging to a degree. Obviously, my first time playing, trying to get in tune with the movement. And I can see how those boss fights, while yes, they can be easy, can be hard for someone, like I said, who's a tiny child, who's not really in tune with games like that or anything. I did get my cheeks clapped by Spewer a couple times, especially in Luncheon Kingdom. Mans absolutely just bent me over and had his way with me. I got, tossed a couple times, and that was infuriating, but I got through it in the end, so that was fine. Fighting the flower thing in Wooded Kingdom was also pretty fun and unique. You can cheese the fight, but I did like the concept of the fight as well. But overall, all the bosses in the game, very unique and fun. It is definitely different from all other types of, 2D Marios and even some of the 3D Marios as well. Like Mario 64, your bosses, you just throw them, except for the hand guy, you kick him. In Galaxy and Sunshine, you had the soup thing where you slam on the soup things. That was kind of unique as well. But overall, like, the boss fights just felt so unique. Nothing felt the same. It wasn't like jump on his head a couple times and he's dead. Like, it felt very fluid and fun with each boss fight bringing new challenges, and I really like that. Another fantastic part about this game is the music. The music is just so good. Running around the game, listening to the music, it's very complimentary with each section that Mario's in and what you're doing. And, it's just another thing if Mario is their baby, the favorite child, and they just give Mario everything they possibly can with the music sounding so organic and fluid and nice. The way Mario feels and moves, the gimmicks of the games with the captures, the boss fights, like, it's gonna be hard to top Mario Odyssey with the Switch 2, and I can understand why Mario is not a launch title or is probably coming in the first year of the Switch 2, because Mario Odyssey is a banger. The Donkey Kong game looks like, it's kind of like a semblance of, because I got that Mario Odyssey DNA, but it looks very different with a very different themes and vibes and mechanics compared to Mario. Obviously, the new Mario game is probably going to have great movement or whatever. But yeah, Mario Odyssey is a certified banger, so it's going to be hard to follow up Mario Odyssey after 7 years. Like, Mario Odyssey is definitely going to be like the Mario 64 of future generations. That's just how fantastic Mario Odyssey is. It's just got great music, boss fights, gimmicks, just everything about Mario Odyssey is amazing. And I'm finally glad that I got around to finishing the game and playing it. I feel very rewarded for doing that. And it's further it's further complemented by the fact that the pacing of the game, which made all that stuff feel good. The pacing, I never felt rushed. I always felt like I could stop at any time I wanted. And I think that's the complementary fact that there's so many moons in each kingdom, and you can just go through, get some moons, and you'll be done with the kingdom, or you can get a couple moons and stop. And I think that pacing is very good, especially for people who are inexperienced with games or tiny children and, busy people as well. If you're really busy, you can just hop on Mario Odyssey, grab a couple moons, and you're done. I haven't beaten the post game, and I haven't gotten, any extra moons like that, but I could be convinced, if I feel like it, I could just hop on and just get some moons, and I feel like I would be, worthwhile. But I think that just aids to it, just the worthwhileness of just getting on, grabbing a couple moons. I always felt like I could stop, never felt pressured by the game. It was just a fun time and just kind of sucks you in. And I was able to just blast through kingdoms and, beat the game in a pretty timely manner. And it felt very nice. I didn't feel rushed, went at my own pace, felt rewarded for the movement, the moons. And I think that's a strong suit of this game, and why I feel like everybody can just pick up this game and play it is because the pacing's good and there's everything else about the game is just fantastic. There's so many moons to collect. It's like 880, and that's a lot. But I definitely feel like with how fun the game is and how unique getting some of these moons are, the different sub areas, the different things you have to do to get each different moon, very rewarding. So overall, Mario Odyssey is just a banger of a game. And if I'm sure Nintendo already feels it, but man, I'm glad I'm not Nintendo trying to compete with myself for trying to make a better Mario game. Like, it's gonna be tough to top Mario Odyssey. But if you made it to the end, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.